Perry with possession. It's handed off from his defender. So the Engineers, on a big save from their sophomore netminder, are able to hold in transition. Perry, shot on goal, saved by Matisse. He's got his own rebound. As the Engineers' leading point scorer was able to shove off a defender and get a shooting lane, one of the few that have been open here in this first quarter. Netminder, and he was strong just then. Final minute of play here in the first quarter. Game clock is ahead of the shot clock right now, so the Golden Knights appear content to hold for the final shot of this quarter. Possession to Alex Seiler, sitting at about the 45-yard line. He protects with one hand on the stick. Now he's got two. A step to the inside, trying to get around Boyko. The Golden Knights will swing it around once more. This time it's Maddox Gorney. Gorney feeling the pressure. He's able to make a pass. Geiger steps to his strong side, looking to turn the corner. He fires off his back foot. Bit of a slingshot there to get that shot away. 5 seconds to go. Knocked to the turf. One last chance for the Golden Knights. A pass in front. It's turned over. Perry will fire it high in the air. It goes up and above the net. It wouldn't have mattered anyways. A dominant first quarter of action for the visitors. After the Engineers scored the opening goal 6 seconds in on a face-off win and transition goal from Venuto, it was all Golden Knights. They score 5 in a row and extend their lead to 5-1 after 1 quarter of play. We'll step aside for just a moment and be back with second quarter action. You're watching RPI Men's Lacrosse here on RPI TV.
There's the team.
Back for second quarter action here at ECAV Stadium in Troy, 5-1. It is Clarkson leading RPI. Dan Ball with you on the broadcast here this afternoon as the Engineers are in possession, looking to grab some momentum back in this one. Knifing to the middle was Murphy. He has it knocked away, loose along the turf. Clarkson able to cause the turnover, rolling to the end line. It is knocked out of play. Possession awarded back to the Engineers, as Clarkson has been so very good on the defensive end thus far in this one. Cooper Manzi will slow things down, feeling the pressure from Mason Volley. A turnover. As once again, Clarkson able to disrupt the offensive set for the Engineers. That one rings off the crossbar and rolls out of play. You could see the heat trail on that one from Sebastian Geiger. One thing you notice about this Clarkson team, they're not necessarily picky about the shot selection on offense. It is find a lane that you think can at least get a shot on net, and then whatever ends up happening happens as Tyler Hall turns the corner. He shoots, save made by Perry, but a penalty coming up as a flag thrown. So we'll see the Golden Knights go man up for the first time in this one. Wait for the official word on the call. Clarkson on the season, 11 of 29 on their man up, 37.9%. The Engineers 33 of 47, a man down, just over 70% success rate, killing penalties. Clarkson in possession, worked around the perimeter. That is Kearney, who has it back once more. Working low, looking for a pass to the middle, did not connect with Brian Penny. The Engineers are able to steal. The penalty against Zach Neely for the Engineers. The call was a slash. So RPI a man down for a full minute, but they're able to escape and complete their clear. Manzi fighting for possession. He was protecting with his left arm, maintaining possession with his right. Mazzella running from right to left across the middle of the turf in the offensive end for the Engineers. RPI ends up turning it over, but in the process, Neely has escaped, so back to 5-on-5. Both teams successful in their man-down pursuits as another flag thrown. Clarkson's going to get their second opportunity, a man up in just mere moments. As the Engineers really through one quarter and change, struggling to get any consistent momentum going. You were wondering after that last successful penalty kill whether or not they might be able to. A nice move, but Seiler was going for the shot, and as he got around one defender, it was knocked away by another. Pretty nice move there by Alex Seiler, the sophomore out of Victor, New York. We'll now get word on the flag that was thrown a few moments ago. Still waiting to see exactly who is in the box. Clarkson will go a man up once more. Just under 4 minutes into this second quarter, we've now seen Clarkson get 2 power play opportunities here in this quarter after having none in the first. Pass goes right to the middle. That one gets deflected up and above. Geiger had himself parked right in the middle of the 5-man killing unit for the Engineers, and he got his pass there from Fiebig. This time around, it is Geiger who has it below the goal. We're back to even strength, so RPI 2 for 2. A man down. The call was an offside 32nd infraction against RPI. That was served by Kieran McGinley. Geiger trying to work his way around. Fired on goal. That one gets blocked, and it's scooped up by the defense and Ty Stanek. The clear is successful as Seiler once again was trying to find some space in the middle. This time the Engineers able to hold. Manzi protecting with his right shoulder. It's knocked off or out of his stick, but he's able to grab possession back. But again, look where RPI is on the offensive end. They're over center, but not by much. The defense been so good. That one's turned aside. Matisse, the first time he's been called upon in some time, rolling towards the end line and possession to the Golden Knights. The shots on goal in this one so far, 9-4 in favor of Clarkson. Clear attempt got blocked by Manzi. Second attempt knocked to the turf and out of bounds. So possession will remain with the Golden Knights. A good couple plays there trying to thwart the transition efforts as Tyler Hall pulls it free. Had a goal last weekend against Union. These two teams have met 4 times in their respective league tournaments as that one's in the back of the net. Maddox Gorney from far out sends it over Perry and in. And the Golden Knights pick up right where they left off. Just over 5 minutes into the second quarter, their lead also 5. It is 6-1. Well, it seemed like a relatively harmless opportunity. Maddox Gorney's first goal of the season and first career goal for the freshman out of Auburn. Face-off won by Venuto. Murphy in possession. Engineers down by 5, looking to get something going on the offensive end. But the Liberty League's best defense has been giving RPI fits all day, and there's another prime example in transition. Here come the Golden Knights again, and they score! Matthew Vines in transition, and Clarkson scores again. A timeout has been taken by the Engineers, their second and final timeout of the half with 8:51 to go here in the second quarter. And very honestly, folks, it's been a clinic by the road team here at ECAV Stadium since the 6-second mark of the first quarter when Angelo Venuto scored the game's opening goal. Don't forget, the Engineers did have a lead. 7 unanswered from the next quarter and a half of play have Clarkson out to a commanding lead. We'll go through the scoring summary for you as Venuto scored the opening goal. 5 goals in a row in the first quarter. It was Thomas Fiebig scoring the game-tying and current difference maker just over 3 minutes apart to make it 2-1. Then Adam Canfield, Christian Canino, and Sebastian Geiger scoring in rapid succession to make it 5-1. Maddox Gorney and Matthew Vines scoring the 2 goals here in the second quarter. So of the 7 goals that have been scored by the Golden Knights, 6 different goal scorers. For the team out of Potsdam, New York, they play their home games at Hantz Field. After the timeout, the face-off is won by Venuto. He feels the pressure, though. No quick lane to the net. You have to imagine the defense was a bit wiser to the Engineers' face-off man and his plan. Get possession, get as close to the goal as you can, and fire it if you get the opportunity. That's usually the plan. Did not work this time around. Good defensive pressure, forces a pass from Mazzella. He's got it again, this time on his left side. Now protecting on his right. Mazzella shoots, and he missed the net. Didn't miss Matisse's cage by much. Cooper Manzi will bring it in and turn the corner and shoot, and he scores! It looked like Manzi might have caught Matisse by surprise. He got just a bit further than the goal line, turned and hopped a bit in the air to give himself an angle to fire. And Cooper Manzi has ended the goal streak at 7 for the Golden Knights. It's now 7-2 on Manzi's 24th goal of the season. Came into this one in a dead heat.
Let's get one, Green!
With Luke Murphy for the team lead in goals, so he's got the lead in goals. Murphy with 46 points on the campaign coming into this one, compared to 34 for Cooper Manzi. But again, the great thing for where this program is going is that 3 of the top point scorers on the roster coming into this one, all freshmen for Scott Hackett Dalglish and company. Young and promising, but trailing in this one, but in possession once more. The game of collegiate men's lacrosse and lacrosse in general is a game of runs very often. Clarkson had theirs, now can RPI go on theirs, and a shot turned aside by Matisse. The rebound scooped up by the Golden Knights. Matisse out of his crease to help with the defensive effort to begin the clear. A really nice stop by the graduate student netminder for the Golden Knights as RPI look to score back-to-back goals for the first time today. After a couple of changes, Clarkson transitioning and scoring again. Sebastian Geiger from the far side once more. He's been pulling the trigger from there a couple of times here in this quarter, had yet to be rewarded. And Clarkson responds in rapid succession. The lead is restored to 6. Geiger with 2 goals in this one, up to 3 in as many games on the campaign. Face-off knocked forward and won by Venuto. A pass to the far side, but Murphy unable to corral the pass. A bit of a mistake there for the veteran offensive catalyst for the Engineers. Seen that play numerous times this year. If Angelo Venuto does not have the lane himself, well, send it to one of the best shooters in the conference. Trying to spin away there was Raffini. He'll give it a second go, but again, feeling the pressure. Murphy this time is up top as RPI going for a few different looks on offense. Manzi goes to his right, now back to his left, trying to turn the corner and shoot again. This time it's up top for Murphy, one more. On goal, off the post, rebound loose for Manzi, and he rang it off the crossbar. Heavy metal for the Engineers on the offensive end. A post and a bar, and the score remains at 8-2. Well, aside from no goal, of course, one of the better offensive sets that we've seen from the Engineers so far in this one. A couple of different looks. You know, you had Luke Murphy, who was on his strong side and up near the top of the offensive set, versus where you normally see him on that strong side, right where Adam Seiler was just there. Alex Seiler, that is, and Seiler's got it once more, looking to turn the corner, a pass to the middle. In and out of the stick, now loose along the turf. Bodies flying right by the 30-yard line. Clarkson awarded possession back. It looked like Fiebig had all the time in the world to pull the trigger on the shot that could have been the goal for the hat trick. That didn't happen, but his team awarded possession once more. No real rush here as they begin from right where their bench is located on the sideline. Pass coming from Tyler Hall, didn't connect, but a flag is thrown. Flag will be thrown against the Engineers for the hit that was laid on Hall. He was trying to make the pass to Brian Penny. Was unsuccessful in that regard. You can hear the commentary coming from the fans in the RPI pep band. Nothing necessarily worth repeating on a broadcast, but very entertaining to hear through a headset to keep things light here at ECAV Stadium. 4:44 to go, second quarter. 8-2 right now. Clarkson up by a bunch. Golden Knights in possession on the man up for the third time here this afternoon. Geiger centers a pass. They score! Alex Seiler in front of the goal. On the feed from behind the cage, found himself wedged right inside of the RPI five-man defensive unit. The infraction had been called against Zach Neely for an illegal body check. It was a 1-minute opportunity, but that much was not needed. 9-2, Golden Knights leading. They will take a timeout here with exactly 4:28 to go in the second quarter. Their first timeout taken this half. Both teams given 2 in each half of play. As we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, these teams have met 4 times in their respective league playoffs. 2 times in the Liberty League, 1 time in the UCAA. That matchup came in the final, and then once in the ECAC. So from conference to conference, these 2 teams have seen a lot of each other. The last time they played in the playoffs, 2019, when RPI beat Clarkson in the first round of the Liberty League playoffs. That score 13-12. It was a fantastic game. Last year, it was Clarkson winning by a score of 11-8. That game out in Potsdam. The first time that the 2 teams had met up since the 2019 season, of course, with the COVID-19 pandemic and all of the havoc that wreaked. These 2 teams who first met up in 1966 were unable to play one another. It was a 21-1 victory for RPI in that game in 1966. They won the first 6 games of the series as that one skipped on goal. Matisse the save. RPI maintains possession. Faceoff was won by Venuto, and the Engineers trail by 7. Still 4 minutes to go, and a possible press here to try to get a little bit of momentum going into the break. That one's fired up and above by Zach Swanson. RPI maintains possession as it's Murphy. Up top for Smith. Goes to his strong side. Fires one on goal and he scores! Well, a shot from up top by Sean Smith finds Twine. The Engineers respond after ceding a goal on the man down. Goal number 12 on the campaign for Sean Smith. Another one of those first-year players making a difference. Freshman out of Rochester. Now extends his personal point and goal streak to 3 straight games. Had a goal on 4 shots and also caused a turnover in RPI's game against RIT as Venuto was accidentally blocked there by one of the officials on the turf. And after a quick what happened there gesture, he was able to get around him. RPI in possession again, trailing by 6. Raffini. Near side pass for Manzi, who's back up top. A change in personnel brings the most recent goal scorer, Smith, back on the turf. He has it knocked off his stick. A hard stick check there by Brian Penny. Murphy drops the shoulder. Again, no room for him to turn the corner. That's the one goal. Try to keep him from shooting. Manzi sends it off the turf. That one goes bounding high and wide and out of play. Mazzella will get it going with 28 seconds on the shot clock and just under 2:50 to go in the second quarter. Raffini, near side for Swanson. Up top, Murphy. He scores! That was Mazzella, rather, who took the shot from the far side. With a lot of heat on it, the Engineers have scored 2 in a row for the first time today. It's now 9-4. Anthony Mazzella, goal number 8 on the campaign for the senior out of Madison, New Jersey. It's all begun with a couple of face-off victories. They'll take another here with 2:42 to go. Knocked along the turf, both sides fighting for it. It's scooped up with one hand by Venuto. Pass successful to Boyko as the Engineers grab possession once more. That one's knocked down in front of the cage. A big block to ensure that Matisse would not have to face another shot from the Engineers offense that was starting to build some momentum. A big play within the context of this first half. That's been largely dominated by the Golden Knights up until the last few moments. Here they come in transition. Seiler looking back door. Couldn't connect with Andrew Kearney. That one will head out of play. Clarkson maintains possession, just over 2 minutes to go.
Nice shot.
The defensive effort for this Golden Knights team, not uncommon this season. They've given up single-digit goal against totals in 9 of 10 games. That one's wired off the crossbar, up and out of play. That one will roll into the empty field space behind ECAB. A lot of steam on that one. Clarkson also 8-0 this season when allowing under 10 goals. Near side, it is Seiler. Seiler had a very strong start to the campaign with a 7-game point streak to open his year. He's been around the scoring today, and he tried to get another shot. A stick in the lane deflects it up and out of play. 1:15 to go here in the second quarter, 25 seconds on the shot clock. Pressure coming for Geiger. That pass doesn't connect. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Defense for the Engineers holding strong at a big moment. That one's blocked in front of Perry's cage, still loose along the turf. Scooped up and cleared successfully. Boyko feeds Murphy. Murphy will drop the shoulder. Didn't have a lane to the net. No real rush as Murphy will backpedal. Mazzella, the most recent goal scorer, nearly knocked off his feet, and he scores! The battle for Mazzella to get around the defender. He drew a penalty but scores either way. And the Engineers are back within 4. They've scored 3 in a row. Well, a big defensive shift there for the Engineers, keeping Clarkson off the board for basically the entirety of the shot clock there and the moments before the transition. Murphy found Mazzella, and it was Mazzella who was able to fight around a defender and shoot off of his back foot with a lot of power. 9-5, face-off controlled after the violation by the Engineers. Manzi up top for Smith. 25 seconds to go in the quarter. They work it around the perimeter once more. It's Smith again. Backpedaling. Working it around, and that shot goes off the side. Possession given to the Golden Knights after the race was won by the netminder Matisse. RPI was a man up as the infraction still counted. Clear successful, 5 seconds to go. And the Golden Knights will run out the remainder of the clock here in the first half. A game of runs here in this one. after the opening tally from Angelo Venuto just 6 seconds in. 7 goals unanswered from the Golden Knights, briefly halted by a goal from Cooper Manzi that made it 7-2. 2 more goals from the Golden Knights to make it 9-2, but 3 in a row to end the first half from the Engineers. It is 9-5 in a very entertaining game through the first half of action here at ECAV Stadium in Troy. We'll step aside for the duration of our halftime here on the campus of RPI. We'll be back with second half action in just a few moments, so grab a drink, grab a snack, and stay with us. You're watching RPI Engineers Men's Lacrosse here on RPI TV.
You going where?
I know where a little bit of
You grab it now, you grab it a couple hours. Sooner the better. You grab it, That's fine. I would prefer you pick it up. What time is Jenna picking you up? 20 minutes.
Should be tomorrow, but sometimes depending on if they get their rounds in. Like Monday.
Second half action is underway here at ECAV Stadium in Troy on the campus of RPI. We're back here for Engineers Men's Lacrosse on RPI TV. Dan Ball with you on the broadcast this afternoon. Score 9-5 in favor of the visiting Clarkson Golden Knights, as Clarkson holding on to possession. RPI did finish the first half a man up, so Clarkson was awarded possession at the end of the first half. They were able to essentially kill the clock the rest of the way down, and now they have possession. We're back to even strength, and it's controlled by Sebastian Geiger. Geiger up top for Tyler Hall. Hall's pass is briefly fumbled by Andrew Kearney, but Kearney's able to grab possession back. Hall, the facilitator for Geiger. Geiger protecting on his strong side. Engineers swarming in front of him, trying to keep him to the outside. They do. And a shot off of 1 foot controlled by Perry. So the first defensive set for the Engineers successful. Looking to complete their clear. They do, as it's strided over the center line by Dan Myers. Myers had a big offensive game a couple of weeks ago with 2 goals against Vassar. Engineers in possession for the first time as Raffini wires one just wide. RPI will grab possession back. The shots on goal, 14-11, cutting in front of the goal and scoring. The first goal of this second half and drawing a penalty in the process. Cooper Manzi dropped his shoulder and essentially accepted that he was going to get clocked in front of the goal. But he took the hit, made the play, got the goal, and will put his team a man up in the process. It's now 9-6. Manzi's got 2 goals in this one. The lead for the Golden Knights, that was as high as 7, is now down to 3. The Engineers scoring 4 goals in a row. Conversation here between officials. Engineers building a lot of momentum here in this one. They'll get set for the faceoff, as RPI after the goal will go a man up. Controlled by Venuto off the draw. Waiting for the official details on the call, but you could tell after the hit it was Matt Swagolinski. 2 minutes for a body check, so a big opportunity here for the Engineers, who have scored 4 goals in a row, to continue their comeback effort here at home. Smith for Murphy. Striding to his left. Smith once more. Manzi trying to evade a defender. A bit of a miscommunication. Ended up just being a bit of a space pass instead. Working along for Mazzella. Pulling the trigger there is Murphy. Saved by Matisse. Rebound deflected up and out. Smith will head back and get it started once more. Still about 40 seconds remaining on the shot clock, so a lot of time for RPI to set up for the shot they are intending to get. You see the passing around the perimeter. There's a goal there. It's Murphy, and he scores! A goal on the man up for the Engineers. It is a 2-goal game. RPI scoring 5 in a row, including 2 to begin this second half. And it is now 9-7. So the penalty that was taken by Swagolinski, one of the non-releasable variety. So he still remains in the box, and RPI remains a man up until the full completion of the 2 minutes. Huge opportunity for the Engineers once more as they'll get back in to their set a man up. 6 on 5. with a netminder, of course, in the offensive end. Murphy swings it low. Hilkowicz keeps it moving. A player has got a lot of time on the man up in Mazzella. He fires and scores. It is a one-goal game here in Troy. The second man-up goal in rapid succession for the home team. Anthony Mazzella completes the hat trick. And from 9-2 down, it is now 9-8. Goodness gracious, a missile of a shot there from Mazzella. The face-offs and the wins by Venuto, this time he wins it backwards to Sean Smith, have been so huge in this one. Controlled by Murphy. So again, non-releasable. Engineers still going 6-on-5. Looking to tie the game this time around. Murphy fakes the pass. Murphy for Mazzella. Doesn't shoot. Murphy will, and he missed the net wide. Buffini will head back and grab it. Keep an eye out here as the penalty coming to a close. RPI looking for possibly one more chance. It's Smith, and he scores! We are tied at 9. What a remarkable comeback for the Engineers. 4 goals to open the second half, 3 on the man up. And the illegal body check goal, or penalty rather, whistled against Matt Swagalinski, looming large as Clarkson will take their first time out of the half. Absolutely remarkable, as both teams getting players back out onto the field. Maybe not. Looked as though they were set to take a timeout. I still thought that they did, but we're back underway. RPI maintains possession, so the infraction against Swagalinski has mercilessly ended for the Golden Knights in a game that is now tied at 9. Mazzella looking to turn the corner, backing off his defender. Pass goes Raffini. Manzi drops the shoulder. Up top, Raffini again. Chooses not to shoot for Murphy. Quickly around the offensive perimeter. Swanson out there for the Engineers as well. Mazzella steps in. His pass goes behind the cage. Back up top for Swanson, and he scores! And RPI, for the first time since the 6-second mark in this game, has the lead back. It's 10-9. Absolutely remarkable action here at ECAV Stadium. Zach Swanson, the goal to give the lead back. Goal number 11 on the campaign for Swanson. Venuto wins the draw. It's been dominance at the dot for Angelo Venuto. This has been a game of runs, to say the least. So Clarkson has made a change in net, which we'll get to in a moment. Murphy turns and shoots. Big save made. First stop for Griffin Emerson, the freshman out of Penn Yan, New York. Murphy is able to pull the loose ball free. Turning the corner and stopping there. Making a pass, now it's Swanson. He was unable to corral. Loose ball swept forward by Swanson. Knocks it through his legs, still along the turf, and picked up. So after the brief mistake there from Zach Swanson, the recovery successful. RPI maintains possession. No lack of action here in this one. Murphy near side for Mazzella. A couple of jab steps, was looking to possibly open up a shooting lane for himself. Murphy trying to turn the corner. He's on his strong side. Pass goes low of the goal for Manzi, who's on his right. To his left, save made by Emerson. Rebound Sent back to the freshman netminder for the Golden Knights. Clarkson will look to begin their clear. It's Brian Penny. Penny feeling the pressure as it knocked free. Manzi strips him. RPI grabs it back. Mazzella will step to the middle. Murphy will slow things down to a jog. With more speed, though, it is Smith. Smith goes Murphy over the top of him, but rests in the stick of Cooper Manzi. Spinning, looking to shoot. He's a lefty. He shoots. Saved by Emerson. Rebound scooped free. 3 stops in rapid succession by the backup netminder for the Golden Knights, who is settling things down for his defensive unit.
Let's go, Green!
Griffin Emerson has appeared in 4 games this season. Long heave, missed the net as Perry, as he is known to do, was wandering out of his crease. That would have been quite the introduction into this one for Griffin Emerson. He's played in 4 games this season, but has played a total of just 14 minutes and 30 seconds. He's made 2 saves on 5 shots during that time. Has not recorded a decision this season. Murphy goes across the middle. Saved by Emerson as Raffini went low. That one will roll out of bounds. Goodness gracious. 4 saves in a row since entering this one for Griffin Emerson, who is pretty much single-handedly keeping his team in this one right now. Obviously momentum changes, but a couple of big saves can really change momentum in a hurry. Cooper Roman, who checks in on the offensive end. Made the pass for Smith. Sean Smith, he'll shoot, skips it off the turf and wide. That one will whistle its way out. We're just over the halfway point here in quarter 3. And if you're just joining us, oh boy, have you missed a lot. RPI scored the opening goal.
Let's go, Green!
Then Clarkson scored 7 in a row and 9 of the next 10 to establish a 9-2 lead. RPI has scored 8 goals in a row between the second and third quarter. They scored 3 man-up goals here in this third quarter. Murphy, he shoots, missed the net wide. That one will trickle its way out. Shot clock down to 9, so the Engineers are going to need to hurry. More of a similar defensive set here for Clarkson to what we saw in the opening half. Roman looking to turn the corner. Pass goes low. Saved by Emerson. Rebound loose. Scooped up by the Engineers and a fresh shot clock to work with. Remarkable performance to begin things in the cage for Griffin Emerson. Cooper Roman protecting, and he sends it out of bounds. A mistake by RPI will lead to possession for the Golden Knights. Emerson last played against Plattsburgh State. One of his bigger performances, you could say. 4 minutes, 12 seconds, gave up a goal and made 2 saves. The lone 2 saves on his ledger until today. So after, I believe it's 5 saves, and I'll have to double check that number. That was just counting on fingers and toes, 5 saves. He will have far surpassed the number of saves he has made, but that will equal the amount of shots that he had either saved or let by. Shots of consequence, so to speak. Shooting, and this time it's Joe Perry who has settled things down, making the save. Taking it to the center line, it is Azwari. RPI gets a save from their netminder, and they're back on the offensive end. A good crowd on hand here in the stands, which the broadcast doesn't catch, but we can, including the energy from the RPI pep band, as Mazzella shooting from his left side, missed the net wide. RPI comes into this one again with a record of 5-6, 2-1 in conference play so far, sitting in second place. Clarkson 9-1 in their 10 games, 1-1 in conference play. Mazzella shoots, and he scores! You figured it was a matter of time before RPI would get one past Griffin Emerson. It's Anthony Mazzella again. Have a game for the senior from Madison, New Jersey. The first multi-goal lead of the day for the home team. It's now 11-9. The Engineers have scored 9 goals in a row. Knock on something wooden if you're listening to that one, as a battle as the ball is still loose, and after Clarkson had possession, the turnover forced by the Engineers, who grab it back. And Murphy will slow things down, getting the pass from Zach Neely. Smith will get things going. He's been all over the offensive end today. You really see the energy and the speed of the freshman from Rochester in games like these. The Engineers have needed a game changer as that pass to the middle for Raffini. He was cutting right in front of the cage and did have some room if he caught it, but the catch and shoot move just a little too difficult in the moment. Swanson makes the pass. Cooper Manzi protects. He turns and shoots against the grain. That one misses the far post and will whistle its way out of bounds. 4:07 to go, third quarter. ECAV Stadium here in Troy. Thanks so much for joining us here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in the Capital Region.
Let's go, Green!
Mazzella protecting. Near side, it's Murphy, who has been a bit quiet today, and he has his shot stopped by Griffin Emerson. Clear, successful for Matt Swagalinski, the junior defender out of Montville, New Jersey, who's a legal body check penalty of the unreleasable variety. Ended up swinging things, or continuing the swing of things, in a major way. Clarkson looks to answer. They've seeded 9 in a row. Geiger works it back up top for Hall. Seiler on the far side is able to shirk an Engineers defender. Spinning and shooting and missing the net there was Brian Penny. Clarkson maintains possession with 36 to shoot. Penny, the senior midi out of Wakefield, Massachusetts, had a big game last week against Union, scored a hat trick, led the squad with 8 total shots. Another very athletic player that you see on both sides of the ball. Stepping in is Hall. He shoots, saved by Perry, and he's got his own rebound. Advanced ahead, the clear successful in a hurry. Caleb Oswari, pass to the middle, and it skipped off of a player, still loose along the turf. Bit of an awkward play there for Myers, still loose for both teams to grab, scooped up by Manzi. 2 Golden Knights players trying to force him out of bounds, a behind-the-back pass, but it's ruled that Manzi did go out of bounds, so Clarkson grabs it back anyway. This has certainly been a fun one in a Liberty League matchup between 2 teams from New York, and we could start the upstate argument if you want, but 2 teams from non-New York City, New York, that have played each other nearly 60 times over their history. The first time that these teams have played one another, well, last year, rather, they had played each other for the first time since 2019, I should say. Save made by Perry on that one. Clear successful. John Matkin took it out of harm's way. Luke Murphy, feeling the pressure, is striding backwards towards the end line. Swagalinski, the long stick defender who was giving him a bit of trouble. Murphy was having a conversation in the middle of the play. Looked like he was motioning at the official, possibly asking for a slashing call. He was getting a couple of pretty good whacks, but we play on. Seeing the impact of putting RPI a man up, not to say that that had a big reason for it, but you never know. Just over a minute to go in the quarter. Shot clock down under 30 seconds, so the Engineers will need to take a shot. Swanson works it back up top. Manzi fakes the pass. Had a bad angle, chose not to shoot. Mazzella up top for Swanson, goes to his left. He rang it off the crossbar. That one will skitter its way out of bounds. Heavy shot there from the left. Now a shot clock reset will allow the Engineers to slow things down and possibly hold for the last shot if they choose to do so. That's exactly what they're intending to do as Mazzella. Down to a jog, and Manzi will hold tight. The two playing a leisurely game of catch as the game clock now down to 15 seconds. Raffini draws Matthew Vines and gets free all the way across. Swanson shoots and he scores! 12-9 Engineers. They've scored 10 in a row. The patience from the freshman Raffini. He drew the defender and instead of shooting, found his man Swanson open in prime territory to pull the trigger. 12-9 Engineers. 7.4 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Watch for a Venuto win and possible shot, but a really nice play on the faceoff to knock it down. 3 seconds and 2, and the horn will sound on a game-changing third quarter for the home team. The score coming into quarter number 3 was 9-5 in favor of Clarkson. 7 goals unanswered in the third quarter from the Engineers. Erase the deficit and give them a 3-goal lead as we round third and head for home. The score after 3 quarters, 12-9 RPI over Clarkson. Back with fourth quarter action in just a few moments, so stay with us. You're watching Engineers Men's Lacrosse on RPI TV. Fourth quarter just about to begin here from ECAV Stadium in Troy. 12-9 in favor of the Engineers, and Venuto gets it started off the face-off win. A shot, and it goes off the post, the bar, and out. Oh boy, welcome back, folks. Dan Ball with you here this afternoon. It has been nothing short of exciting here in this one as we begin the fourth quarter of action of what has truly been a game of the ages. Knocked loose off the stick of Swagalinsky, and the Engineers force the turnover. Boyko for Raffini, quickly ahead in transition. It's Manzi, but 3 green sweaters back between him and the cage, so he'll slow things down. If you're just joining us, it was RPI taking a 1-0 lead. That was at the 6-second mark after a face-off win from Angelo Venuto right at the beginning of the broadcast, which I've been told in between first and second halves could not be heard, so apologies for that. I was reading the RPI TV chat during the halftime and learned that on my own. Knocked loose by the Golden Knights, they forced a turnover of their own. Clarkson scored 7 goals unanswered in 9 of 10 between the first and second quarter. The score was 9-2. RPI scored 3 in a row to end the second quarter. Goals which end up looming huge in this one if you talk about momentum. Then RPI came out and on a turf that is also used for football absolutely blitzed the Golden Knights in the third quarter, putting up a touchdown with an extra point of their own, unanswered. The 7-0 third quarter run made it 12-9. That's where we stand, but Clarkson's looking to answer. Hall shoots, blocked, never got its way to the net. RPI stands tall on the defensive end. Smith will send it back for Perry. The Engineers netminder has been very, very good. He hasn't been needed a ton after goal number 9. Here he comes. Here comes Joe Perry, in on goal, and it's blocked and goes over the top of the cage. Just when you thought we'd seen everything. Perry gets a high five from Oswari as he'll head back to his crease. I think Clarkson was guarding everybody but the netminder Perry because they figured, well, the pass has to be coming at some point. They haven't watched the film on the aggressive but very talented Engineers netminder. Anyways, things will slow down in the offensive end. A quick jab step made there by Sean Mullen. Shooting, saved by Emerson. Rebound, still loose in the crease. Scooped up and over the top is a bit of a miscommunication. So Griffin Emerson, who again checked in as the backup goaltender after the Engineers had put a barrage of shots past Jacob Matisse, the graduate student and starting goalie. Griffin Emerson has given up 2 goals but made 7 saves. So Emerson in his time has already made more saves with 7 than Matisse had during the first half and most of that third quarter. Matisse gave up 10 goals and made 7 saves, and Emerson, with his first real big opportunity of his career as a freshman, is 7 of 9 in the cage so far. We saw that on display. He made 5 in a row to open things up, to really settle things down before the Engineers were able to leak a few through. Pass to the middle did not connect. Possession given back to Clarkson as it deflected off of the stick of the defender, Will McGrath, who was going back to try to knock it down. He kind of got caught in between a little bit. The offensive player, Andrew Kearney, was the one who was looking to get the shot, but he couldn't catch the pass, and they score! Tyler Hall was able to lose the defender, took 1 step back onto his back foot, and fired it past Perry. So the run of offense for the Engineers is halted at 10. At 10. It chokes you up. It's so emotional to talk about. The goal from Halls puts Clarkson into double digits. It's now 12-10. Face-off was controlled by the Golden Knights, but it was knocked loose. And on second attempt, it is Venuto back and grabbing it for RPI. Face-offs have been nothing short of dominant for RPI, as Venuto has won 20 of 23 face-offs in this one. So you look at how the momentum was switched in the second and third quarter. That's a huge reason for it. Mazzella spins away. Pass high up in the air, but lands for Murphy. Skip shot goes off the side of the goal. A quick cheer from the crowd here at ECAV, who I believe saw the net ripple and thought RPI had scored again. Not too hard to fathom, however, with the rate that they've been scoring recently. The clear, single-handedly successful for Logan Wilkinson, the sophomore out of Manlius, New York. Clarkson in possession after scoring a goal to get themselves into double digits. Clarkson has scored 10 or more goals in 7 of their 10 games this season, and they are 7-0 when they reach that double-digit mark. Striding backwards with possession is Joe Kelly. Kelly, the sophomore attackman from Ridgewood, New Jersey, trying to spin away as he's covered by John Matkin. He's able to make the pass as we're under 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Fighting for room is Geiger. He's now past the goal line and makes the feed. Trying to fight around a couple of defenders and drawing a penalty there is Brian Penny. Penny will shoot himself. It gets deflected. His stick got deflected on its way through. So a stoppage and a penalty coming. It's going to be a holding the stick penalty that's going against the home team. So a major opportunity here, a man up for the Clarkson Golden Knights. Clarkson is 0 for 3. A man up so far today, as I believe that is Caleb Oswari, who will kneel, having been assessed the infraction. Controlled in the offensive end as Clarkson works it around the perimeter. Here is Seiler. Up top for Canino. All the way around now as Geiger is the player working behind the cage, kind of switching the offense for his team. A lot of pressure coming on the defensive unit. We're back to even strength as RPI successful again in their man-down coverage. Clarkson still has possession, 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Seiler to his left, pass in front, doesn't connect. The defender Boyko was right there, causing a disturbance for Sebastian Geiger. Long pass gets deflected, the clear unsuccessful for RPI. It was a long pass that got deflected off of the stick of Myers, who was waiting about 5 yards below the center line. So Clarkson will get 2 possessions, one right after another. Trailing in this game by 2 after leading by as much as 7. Penny. Brian Penny trying to get around Matkin. Low shot, saved by Perry. He's got his own rebound. Went down and protected that lower half of the cage, as this time the clear successful for Myers. This time, instead of catching the pass, he just got to run it out himself. So now RPI can take their time on their offense. Right now, the clock is their friend with a fresh shot clock. Taking a few steps backward and holding there is Sean Mullen as RPI finishes their personnel changes on offense. Getting by was Mazzella. Pass goes low. Near side Raffini, quickly swung for Manzi. He turns the corner, he shoots. That one's deflected off of Emerson and will roll out of bounds. Looked like that might have clanked off the post as well if you look at just the sheer angle that the ball went rolling. Anyways, Mullen shoots. This one's turned aside. No doubt about that one for the freshman netminder Emerson, who pretty much single-handedly kept his team in it. He made a couple of point-blank saves after checking into the game. That really helped his team hold serve. At the time, it was 10-9. Or near tied, we'll go with that because I don't remember exactly, but it was nearly tied when he checked into the game. Pass goes low of the goal. He made a couple of saves in a row before ceding 2 to end the half. That's exactly, okay, that's what it was. It was 10-9. He gave up the 2, but made 5 saves in a row before that. And again, the score could look a lot different than it does right now, it being pretty much anyone's game with 6 minutes to go. Spinning away from traffic, there was Adam Canfield. Here is Geiger once more. Sebastian Geiger makes a couple of quick moves. This way for Thomas Fiebig, who scored 2 goals to open the scoring, and we haven't heard much from him since, as that one's wired high and wide. Possession maintained by the Golden Knights with now just 11 seconds to shoot. Both clocks get it moving once more. Heavy defense from RPI. Shooting is Seiler. That one gets deflected and goes out of bounds. And RPI at the end of the shot clock, a full defensive set successful as the clock ticks towards 5 minutes to go in regulation. High pass, but a successful one to complete the clear. Ty Stanek was the one on the receiving end. The Engineers, again, were one of 2 teams that came into this weekend with 3 conference games already played. That's why they have the record of 2-1. The only one was Vassar, and they're 0-3, and that's Murphy. He caught it below the goal, hopped in the air, and fires it by Emerson, and the Engineers respond. The lead is back up to 3 with just under 5 minutes remaining. It's now 13-10. Goal number 2 on the day for Luke Murphy. He and Cooper Manzi both with 2 scores in this one, so their team leading goal race still even at 25 goals apiece. Murphy with 6 shots on net, 11 shots attempted total, but 6 on net, tied with Anthony Mazzella for the most on the Engineers here this afternoon. 2 goals and 3 points on 5 shots for the freshman Cooper Manzi. Face-off controlled by the Golden Knights. Looking to answer once more. They didn't let the deficit get any further than 3 last time around. Pass gets deflected loose along the turf. A one-handed play to maintain possession for the moment. Still loose, and Clarkson will scoop it up and just in the nick of time, keep possession down by 3. Febick goes for Geiger. Quickly, it skipped off the turf, and a save made by Perry. Goes up and out of play after the shot from Christian Canino. We'll keep an eye to see if 35th year head coach Bill Bergen tries anything with his netminder Emerson. We've seen what Joe Perry likes to do, and that one is in the back of the net from Geiger. Don't go anywhere, folks. The Golden Knights back within 2. It's now 13-11. The face-offs here in this one, of which Venuto has won 20 of 24, become increasingly important. The battle at the center dot is underway. Knocked along the turf and won by the Golden Knights. No, it's booted towards the end line. It goes out of bounds and the Engineers awarded possession. An absolute battle. Just to note that, and apologies for not saying this previously, Matthew Hansen. Hansen, the senior midi out of Warwick, New York, the player that's been battling at the dot against Angelo Venuto for most of the day. Hansen came in winning 118 of 182 draws, also had 68 total ground balls collected. It looked for the moment like he had possession there on what would have been a massive face-off victory in just the 5th of the day for his team in total. Not the case, and now time again on the side of RPI. In quarter number 4 as they lead by 2. Murphy scores! He completes the hat trick! Back and forth they go as the deficit volleys from 2 back to 3. And Luke Murphy, the senior out of Scituate, Massachusetts, steps up in a big spot for his group. 14-11. Two goals in very, very similar fashions for Murphy here in this 4th quarter. Face-off won cleanly by Venuto. Instead of breaking towards the net, he'll slow things down. 2:45 to go here in the 4th quarter. This time it is Mazzella. standing directly in the eye of the RPI logo at center here at ECAV Stadium. Mullen protecting with his right. Slings it low for Murphy, who will try to turn the corner again. He shoots. This time it gets deflected. Skittering along the turf towards the end line. Knocked through the legs by Griffin Emerson. A heck of a play there to knock that loose ball free. They're ruling that play went out of bounds, however, so RPI actually grabs it back. Mazzella was loose in front of the goal. Pass doesn't connect. Still loose once more. A big hit laid by Mazzella. Clarkson grabs possession. Exactly 2 minutes to go. So it looks like the play that Emerson made there to knock it through his legs and send it along the turf actually ended up forcing the netminder out of bounds. That's how RPI got it back. And a big play to deflect a pass towards Mazzella. There it's a bit of recovery defense was played. Clarkson has possession. Pass goes all the way up top. Missed one player, caught another that was just coming onto the field. Near side pass goes for Brian Penny. Penny goes from left to right, protecting with his right arm. Turns and shoots, missed the net wide. A minute 18 seconds to go here in this one, 37 on the shot clock. Geiger, defended by Ozwari. Never a pleasant matchup for whoever the leading scorer or offensive player is on the opposing team. A timeout is called by the Golden Knights with a minute and 7 seconds to go and 26 on the shot clock. And you have to imagine this possession is a must score for the Golden Knights in order to A, get the score back to within 2 goals, and B, then get a face-off and get a chance to get possession back. A remarkable game here in Troy, to say the least, and a pleasure to watch. Shots on goal, 29-21 in favor of RPI. Engineers 3 for 3 on the man up today, and 4 for 4 defending on the man down. They've scooped up 42 ground balls compared to Clarkson's 26. They are 13 of 14 in clears. Clarkson 19 of 22. Clarkson does have the advantage. They've caused 6 total turnovers compared to RPI's 5. And a lot of that came in the first half when the defensive effort for this Golden Knights team was nearly unsolvable. You get to that 9-2 point in RPI, it wasn't without offensive zone time or halftime or however you want to quantify it. It was just the play of the defensive unit was so aggressive that you could see how uncomfortable it was for RPI to try to shoot. That has been solved and then some. 14-11, just over a minute to go. Hall's pass connects with Geiger. That one's blocked. Scooped up by Stanek, loose along the turf. Picked up, both teams still fighting for it as Geiger has it knocked free. And this time around, as soon as Clarkson got possession back, Bill Bergen was watching. He calls a timeout, the second and final available to him, with 52.9 seconds to go. Here at ECAV Stadium, the number that probably looms largest, if you look at how the momentum has shifted in this one, is the 22 face-off wins from Angelo Venuto on 26 face-off opportunities. A huge number for a team that, again, has won the battle at the face-off dot in all but one game coming into this one. So, the ability to get possession back was a huge reason why you saw the shift in the score here in this one. 4 games today in Liberty League men's lacrosse action. St. Lawrence took down Skidmore earlier today by a score of 13-8. Right now, Union is hosting RIT, and RIT a 13-10 lead on the road just down the street. Clarkson in possession, it's knocked away, and RPI will complete the clear no. Loose along the turf. One last gasp here for the Golden Knights. Turning quickly now is Penny. Pass in front of the goal, knocked away. This one will roll its way to the end line and go out of bounds, or sideline rather, an RPI, given possession back. Here is Perry. He was taking a look at the net, which is empty. Oswari striding to the line. Will Perry give it a go? The net's empty. He's going to try it, and it's knocked down by Emerson. It was back in the nick of time. That one looked like it might have been on goal. A player down for the Golden Knights who collided with the netminder Emerson. 3 seconds and 2. Final shot for Penny. Saved by Perry, and it's over. And the RPI Engineers, in remarkable fashion, come back from down 7 and end up winning by 3. 14-11, your final score here from ECAV Stadium in Troy on the campus of RPI. That was one for the ages for the RPI Engineers and head coach Scott Hackett-Dalglish, to say the least. RPI back to 500 with the victory, 6-6 on the campaign. They're now 3-1 in conference play with the victory. Clarkson, meanwhile, drops to 9-2 on the season. They are now 1-2 in conference play after the game here this afternoon. The final statistics for you, the final numbers for the final time before we bid you farewell here on this Saturday afternoon. Anthony Mazzella ends up leading the Engineers with 4 goals in this one, 4 goals on 6 shots on net. Luke Murphy completes the hat trick, 3 goals on 7 shots on net, 2 goals apiece for Cooper Manzi, Sean Smith, and Zach Swanson. And Angelo Venuto, he scores the opening goal, ends up with 15 ground balls collected, and wins 22 of 26 faceoffs. The win in net for Joe Perry. Perry wins game number 6 on the season for him. He gave up 11 goals but made 10 saves en route to the victory. On the other side for the visiting Clarkson Golden Knights, they got a hat trick and 5 points in total for Sebastian Geiger. Very impressive to watch the Troy product, the senior out of Troy, work here in this one in game number 3 rather. You understand why he had 47 goals and 62 points a season ago. Curious to see how his season comes to a close. 2 goals to begin the scoring in this one. Back in the first quarter from Thomas Fiebig, but the Engineers defense locked him down for the rest. You had 6 other players with individual goals in this one. In net for the Clarkson Golden Knights, Jacob Matisse ends up giving up 10 goals on 16 shots, and in relief of him, Griffin Emerson, very impressive for the freshman. 4 goals against, but he makes 10 saves, so 10 saves on 14 shots. For the freshman, who again, with Matisse being a graduate student goalkeeper, might have a leg up in the competition for the starting netminder for this Golden Knights team in 2024. But in the meantime, that's going to wrap things up here on RPI TV. Thanks so much again for making us a part of your Saturday afternoon. The Engineers are back in action next Saturday afternoon. They'll take on local rival Union at 3 p.m. at Saturday, April 15th. They'll be back in 2 weekends' time on April 29th, a very big day on April 29th. Again, make sure you come out and join us if you get the opportunity. Alumni and friends, all welcome on Saturday, April 29th for Senior Day. A cookout beforehand. Alums and families are invited. Some big plans. Puckman will be in attendance too, so that's how you know it's a big day. Make sure you come out to ECAF Stadium on Saturday, April 29th. Well, for everybody working hard behind the scenes, Dan Ball saying thank you so much for watching and have a great afternoon. You've been watching RPI Men's Lacrosse here on RPI TV.